so alive. Hi, let's talk. Hi, let's talk. No more, no less. No more, no less.
Hello everyone and welcome to Hi, Let's Talk. No more, no less. I am Oluwatoyo. I am a storyteller, a creative director, and I'm passionate about shaping how stories are told and experienced. I will be your host for today's conversation as we unpack the politics of storytelling. I'm quite curious to know, when art meets money, who controls the story? Thank you so much for joining us today. With me, I have my co-host. Let's hear from him.
Hi everyone, my name is Ademola Oyediran, but you can call me Dede. I'm an actor and OAP amongst other things, and I'm the co-host of Hi, Let's Talk, No More No Less. Welcome everybody, welcome one, welcome all. We are glad to have you here. I can't wait to get started in the conversation.
Thank you so much for that. Before we dive into the discussion, let's know that this show is brought to you by Hubert Ifokonpale Film Academy, a platform dedicated to training and nurturing the next generation of creatives in film and media. So, if you're passionate about acting, filmmaking, storytelling, or content creation, all that good stuff, this is definitely a community that you would like to be part of. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Hi_Film Academy so that you can definitely stay updated on more conversations like this and other creative opportunities. So, I'm excited to have our guest for today introduce himself. Hi, welcome to our show. Yinka Aje, welcome.
Hi.
Please.
Okay, hi. My name is Yinka Aje, a writer, researcher, movie lover, critic, photographer, and so many other things. It's really nice to be here.
I think our guest is quite shy to sell his market though, because Omodi is exhausted.
I have like a long list, though. I have like a long list. So there are like so many.
I saw it.
I'm also
It
like
looked like
this.
it looked like an Igbo man was asking for his daughter's hand in marriage or something. He was sending like a bride price list. That was how long the list was.
Quite a lot.
Really?
This is a room of multi-potentialites, so don't be afraid to be gingered up.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a jack of all trades, so I have like too many interests, so like a lot of interests. So chances are, if someone brings something up, I'll probably have like something in common.
Wonderful. You know what they say about jacks of all, master of none, but always better than a master of one.
Yeah, one. Yeah. Oh, I'm also an actor. I just remembered.
Wow. Okay, way to shove it in our faces now. Thank you.
No, I just remembered.
Wow. Okay. Today I am quite interested about this particular topic, because we've had a wide range of topics so far during the course of this show. And I really thought, why don't we get into the politics of storytelling? Because with everything that we do in this life, there is always some strings at play, some politics at play with anything that has to do with socials and people being involved. So today's topic is the politics of storytelling, because there is politics everywhere, whether we like it or not. And there's one thing about wanting to create, and then when creativity becomes commercialized and when money enters the charts, we all know that people tend to sit differently, people tend to speak differently, people tend to act differently. So we want to dive into that today and know, when art meets money, who controls the narrative. The first thing I'll be asking from our guest is, are you ready? Are you ready for the questions to come?
Sure, I'm ready.
Let's go. From you, I want to hear from your end. Where is the line, or where do you think is the line where taking a big check starts to ruin the starts to ruin the soul of the story? Do you think filmmakers are subtly editing their truth just to secure funding? What are your thoughts on that, please?
Okay. I think that line, there are like so many perspectives. The question you just asked, there's so many perspectives. Because when you tend to judge from an outsider's point of view, or as a consumer of, of the movies and all, you tend to be very judgmental. You don't see how it is. There are like so many good scripts that never really got out there. Like really fantastic scripts that could be like serial blockbusters, if you could put it that way, sir. But there's always a lot of politics when it comes to like all of this, and if you don't have the right um connects or plugs, or you don't have like the right moves, then you probably might not be able to secure funding. A good example, like I even use if I even start really talking about it, is Rocky Balboa. When he pitched this, when he wrote his the script Rocky, the series, I think it was Rocky 1 to 5. Though I think I only watched 1 to was it 1 to 3. There's still Creed. There's still the Creed. But so I don't bore you. But basically, when he wrote it, he was very broke. He didn't really have much money. He sold it to a guy, and I think he even sold his dog to Seth because he was in debt. So yeah, it was tough times. You will never expect someone that big to like be on tough times like that. So he had to sell the script to someone. So it kind of gave him issues later on, but he was really happy that he was able to sell the franchise, because if he didn't really end up selling the script to whoever he sold it to, the franchise nobody would have had about Rocky, nobody would have had about Creed. So many actors that came to limelight because of those movies will never come to limelight. So I guess though I think he later bought his dog when he came on. So yeah, that was good.
Was he sure it was the same dog?
Yeah, the same dog. Okay, so I think I can answer the question properly now, Shay.
Yes.
Okay, sure. So I think this when this check and everything comes in, it's like during the first draft note, like after the first draft notes for the script or whatever, the person financing the movie or whatever, like the feedback just goes from, oh, how do you make this better? How can we make this maybe ending happier, or there's also the likability skill, how you make the the lead actor more likable, because when you tend to make the lead actors more likable, you tend to get more people to relate to. Sometimes it's just you said
more watch time and more PR.
Yeah, like for example, now let me think of one random one. Yeah, there was this one, Far From Home, back then. I think this guy here and everything, like, oh, it got like very trendy. A lot of people could probably relate to like the main character, so it kind of made the whole thing a success. I'm not talking about Spider-Man.
You're talking about Far From Home, that was you would produce one.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember. Indeed.
Yeah.
Related Progo lets us see ourselves in the main character, and it's just something that really draws you in, isn't it?
Yeah, like there's always like the like as a writer or whoever, like pitching the story, a person who wrote the story, there's going to be a point when you get like the people financing your stories. There's going to be a part where they tell you to remove some parts. That's one thing writers hate. I'm also a writer, so I even mentioned that. It's annoying. There are sometimes when they ask you to remove some essential parts that make your character that character, and you have no choice because it's like what you need to secure funding and everything. So you're just faced with that. You said?
Yes. Do you think that is where taking like a big check starts to ruin the soul of the story? Like when suddenly you change things that you rather not change, but just because it has to keep coming in.
Yeah, exactly. An example I could give was like Kunle Apollonio's Anikulapo series.
Hey, let's hear about that. I love that you have many examples.
Yeah. So I don't know, it's just popping up, sure. So basically, though I didn't finish watching everything, but it was really nice. So the thing with him is that he the way the way those movies were, he was like pushing them like in an intellectual the Yoruba mythology, vibe. He was trying going with that kind of storytelling. But like most people had like on social media, people had like different reactions, or maybe they wanted it this way, this is how they wanted it. But I think in his words, he was saying something like his films are for thinkers, and it just showed that creators have how they want to do things, but the pressure is really real when you have like a lot of views and deadlines at stake.
Audience like it? Question.
Yeah.
I see. Wonderful. Yeah, I think a lot with that, because on one end you just really want to tell your story, but then when funding comes in, there's no how. The person dropping money as well wants to have a range of influence, and sometimes those visions could clash. Now, I want us to get into, protecting the vision a bit. Like, in your thought line, how do you think one could practically stop an investor from turning a meaningful piece of art into a safe, boring, rinse-repeat product, if I may say? Do you think that chasing international money dilutes our cultural authenticity?
Okay, that's like a very deep one too.
Yes, we can take away at it because it is quite deep. And coming from my own thought line, would I say there's practically a way? I feel if maybe if you can be lucky enough to work with an investor that has the same vision as you, maybe you could get away with having great funding, and someone that doesn't necessarily want to meddle into your art, into the creativity as much as it is. Because I think we've been seeing something happen so far lately, especially in especially in Hollywood. We've been seeing where this case where people say, is it like there are no new stories where a particular story is rinsed and repeated over time? I think you must have experienced that.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it just becomes like the story is like it just becomes oversaturated in the market where you're just pushing the same narratives, the same character trope, and it's like, oh, everybody's consuming the same thing. Like after some time, everybody wants to see something new. If not, it gets boring, views drop, marketability just like plunges. Sure. So if you're trying to avoid this kind of situation and trying to make it like more less boring, whatever, you don't want the whole rinse and repeat thing, like you said. The best thing to do is just confront it like from the beginning, like before funding like even comes in or anything. It's better not to even shoot the movie at. It depends, but most times it's better not to shoot the movie at all than to not be in this kind of situation where you have to make too many compromises. By the time you make too many compromises with the characters, you make too many compromises with the costumes, you make too many compromises with the settings and so many other things. Like, all these things, they look like really small, but like they pretty big doing everything.
Yes.
So by the time you make any compromises, it kind of dilutes the entire authenticity and the originality of what you want. So at the end of the day, you just get a washed up version of what your vision was supposed to be. And honestly, you wouldn't really like it. Like if you look at it from years to come.
Yes, that's true. Because you mentioned Anikulapo.
Yeah.
There was season 1 and then there was season 2. Or was it that first of all there was the show, and I'm like, I actually like watching Nollywood epics to see, or I like just hearing the great old Yoruba of the time and everything like that. And I think whether from season 1 or was it season 2 itself, I could feel that this particular series, it was stretched into 6 episodes. It felt like as though because of now money has entered the chat, we have to like draw it out. This is just my own opinion anyway. It felt like something I could watch in maybe an hour, but it was drawn out into like 45 minute segments just to make sure that we package it according to the budget. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and I think that is why you even claim that you didn't finish it. Because I myself, I don't think I finished it. I think I'm. Oh yes. In fact, I didn't finish. Did I finish season 1? Yes, I skipped through season 1. I watched episode 1 and I was like, okay, great. And I ended up skipping up to episode 6 to like see, okay, what is happening. Then season 2 came out and I was like, well, let me just see some more of this. And I've still not finished it till now. So there is something that is telling there. And I don't think the problem is necessarily my attention span. I think the issue could be this thing has been drawn on. At first, you got Anikula and you're like, oh, wow, wonderful. And suddenly more budget came in and you're like, oh, now we really have to milk this cow. Then you drew something that maybe could be like a season or something. Maybe I'm sure more episodes probably get money. So it got drawn out, and then lucky again, season 2 got drawn out again. And I'm like, okay, but for some reason I've not been able to get into it because I feel like even the particular character that I really like at first, spoiler, but like I'm not going to say a spoiler, but something happens to the character. I'm like, okay, oh well, let's see what happens next. So one really has to find a way of protecting their art, but it's just funny that with the way the world works, that's why the topic today is the politics of storytelling. If you want to be in the game, if you want to play in the game, you have to have skin in the game. And if you keep on trying to not play, you will not be part of people that are actually shaping the influence, which is sad, but it's the reality actually. Preston, do you still have anything else you want to say on this particular question?
Yeah, I have a lot. I totally agree with everything you said. Okay, so what you're saying basically is like the normal movie thing where they like milk a franchise, except this one basically just started. But like when you milk a franchise, I get maybe they wanted to save on budget or some other things, and then to get the hype, to build the hype, and like get their money's worth and everything, which like honestly can't blame them. Like an example, I don't want to trying to use like local examples, but let's say Fast and Furious now, how they keep milking the fanboys family of Fast and Furious franchise, how they keep milking the franchise, featuring movies. There was a time they said something about making a movie or they were racing in face or something. I don't know how that one to get there, but yeah, might be good. I don't know. You said?
I think the stories just keep coming out of nowhere. Like if there's money, you just start having like, let's do that.
Yeah, I guess it's because they have too much content, so they just want to slowly dilute it. I mean, dilute is the word. Dilute it to like rake in money, so they can stretch it out a bit. They can get more episodes, more content. People get like more hype. Because when you do, there was a time on Netflix where you know, I think there was a time on Notice that was a long time ago, where they were just doing one season, one season. It was nice, it wasn't too long. But like there are sometimes where there are some movies or series that deserve like just one season. There are some that deserve more, and there's some that end up being like endless. So the question now is if they want to make it like very the same way it is like very detailed, traits, or they want to saturate it a bit and dilute it to like extend it and get more screen time.
I mean that's basically the whole point anyway. And I'm not gonna lie, making films is not a piece of cake, and most times it is quite tempting to even want to ride on the existing audience and give them more than try to rally up a new one. That's something quite crazy about that, because the funny thing is that the same audience that shouts we want a sequel are the ones that maybe when it now comes out they will now say, oh, part 2 sucked, oh, part 1 was better, part 2 sucked. But then even if I hate watching it, the industry has already made its own money, and it's like, oh well, as long as they're watching, if you like don't like it, shall watch, because they just need to get their money up and tell their stories, of course. Interesting. I would like us to move on to the third question. Hi Demola, are you active?
Yeah, I'm back. So, I've been able to gather a little from all you've said, and I think it's been quite enlightening so far. But I wanted to, come from like sort of a different. I wanted to ask, like, I don't know whether this is thought provoking, but do you think that big budgets actually make stories better, or do you think we are losing the most important, the rawest truths, because investors are too afraid to take risks on, let's say, indie projects now that indie projects in Nigeria these days, now at least I know of, they are more into some very experimental type of things. They tell stories. I've seen an absurdist story in Nigeria and it was really fun, but the backing wasn't really there. What do you think about all these big budget movies? Do you think that we are losing important stories because investors are not willing to back smaller projects that have like big risk nets? Or what do you think, Yinka?
Okay, so basically, I totally understand everything you were talking about.
Yeah.
I think that, in my opinion, having a big budget doesn't necessarily mean the film or the show would be a success. Because if you look at it, if you go to YouTube and so many other places, you see fan-made shows like other shows or movies or animations. You find out that they pour so much passion and like dedication, even if they are not going to be paid or they will never really get any money. And people might probably not even know who the actors are, but they pour so much passion into actually doing. And if you check, you see some really good stuff, like really good stuff. They put so much energy into it. But even if you get a big budget, doesn't guarantee that you won't like overdo or underdo or like deliver like the content that you want. So
Exactly.
I guess it actually just
Budget
depends.
doesn't
Maybe who the director is, who the writer is, how cast and crew collaborate.
That makes sense. So basically, are you saying like the team, the story that you've managed to gather
Basically,
is
sure.
like more important? Are you there?
Sorry, what? Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
So are you? Yeah, I'm saying, do you think that the story, the team you gather at the end of the day is more important than the investing at the end of the day? Or I'm trying to get the point.
I think it's not really about my opinion. It's not really about the budget, because
Yeah.
even without like a large budget, you can still make it work. There's still some things you can do to like
Yeah.
make it work. There's a way you can even rewrite some scenes to avoid maybe unnecessary CGI and something to like save budget costs. So and investors don't like they don't like risks at all. To be honest, these days
Well,
they
I
just want
don't
to go for a
know.
sure story. It
Are
depends.
you a good investor if you don't like risks? I mean, what type of investor are you if you don't like jumping into risk?
True.
Right? Okay, let's look at it a different way now.
Okay.
Okay, who really decides the stories that get told? Is it just investors, or because it's weird sometimes? Well, whoever has the money, that's it. But should it only be whoever has the money? Because we see from different angles. There are a bunch of people that have made money in oil, have made money in this, and they saw like a market in the film industry and they decided to pump out films regardless of
Okay.
story. It's just they are trying to make the money back, make a quick buck. Like, who really decides which stories get told? Is there a body that decides which story gets told? And is the rise of all these independent creators actually breaking the old power structures? There's a lot of YouTube movies around. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And YouTube is like
True.
that good of a platform that you can be as indie as possible. Regardless of whatever you're putting out, you are going to find an audience at the end of the day. So is it like, so basically it's like two questions packed into one. Who decides which
Okay.
stories get told? And the rise of all these independent creators, is it actually breaking those older structures, if any?
Okay. So the rise
Right.
of okay. Well, and if it's breaking any other structures. Okay. So I'm going to digress a bit. I don't even know where to start. Okay. Basically,
I
before I even
I'm
answer
glad.
that one,
Please digress.
okay, sure. You have to, like, before you do all of that, you have to register your scripts, like, or the intellectual property, whatever, early with the Nigerian Copyright Commission. Then,
Yes.
to avoid
Yes.
any issues later on. So
Yeah.
you just have to make your story compelling, like the whole Anikulapo thing that gained it like global recognition. Then what was I want? Hey, yes, there was something I was saying before. So there was this time when yeah, Netflix and Amazon share. So how they do things with like producers cost. So the platform buys the movies and everything. Then the creators now have like more, they have more leverage, or more opportunities to walk away, or like they do this thing where they try to fund from different sources. So it depends on if you get the full funding from the investor or you get part of the funding. If you get the full funding from the investor, then you kind of have to dance to like most of their tunes, except you're like a very respected or like a producer like maybe Tunde Kelani, like the rest of them. So if you're not that big yet, you've not gotten to that stage, you kind of have no choice but to dance to your tunes. But if you decide to find safer routes, and then you try to get funding from different sources, then okay, there will be less pressure on you. Then many people, there was even time when people tend to like I agree with you, like they went small with YouTube because they saved them stress. But when it comes to breaking those structures, like independent creators breaking those structures, there was the time when Ruth Kadri was dropping like maybe more than 40 movies on more than
Yeah.
40 films on
Yeah.
YouTube in
I know that.
2025. Money Oboli was like getting like millions of views. It just shows like you sometimes you can start smaller, but you can own everything at the end of the day. Then
I think yeah, continue.
okay, sure. So when it comes to the whole the big budget thing and the investors, sure, like big budgets get you a lot, like better VFX, production research, like production design, research time. Like if you see movies, like there's so many movies. Like even I don't want to go back to like okay, I don't want to digress again, but like movies like Sharon there, like all those movies, there's a way they made those movies that time. There's a way they made those movies. There's a way they make movies now. There's like a culture trend, and they might not exactly be able to make movies the same way because of like so many reasons, but everything has its own beauty. More big budget. If you compare some movies, whether budgets were big or not, it just gives you more. It's like using better example I can use now is using an app now. If you use the free app or you use like the normal app without the paid features and using the paid features, the one with the paid features kind of makes everything easier, less stressful. You might not have to put in that work, and the one without the paid features might be harder to work with, or you can still make do. So basically, investors just have how they look for ways or formulas to like minimize risk or go with like safer stories that are more acceptable worldwide. Because if you think about it, all these movies, it's not only Nigerians that watch them. A lot of people all over the world to watch them. So many people that love Nigerian music or shows or movies, even more than we Nigerians, funny enough. And I was even there was like, I think it was last week. I went somewhere and I saw a guy, and I had a normal random conversation because I saw him editing. So and apparently he's also a photographer. So I think he was shooting. He shot like there was a Korean Yoruba movie. I can't even remember the name. He was telling me about. It looked
I
really
saw
nice.
that.
I was
I
shocked.
saw that thing recently.
Korean. Oh, okay. Oh,
Maybe.
so I don't even know when it's coming out anybody. He showed me pictures he was working on. I was really interested. Like, we're talking about software, some other things. It was really nice seeing all this stuff. Definitely for that one there might be a budget or not, like very high budget. I don't know. But even without budget, there's so many things you can do without high budget. But actually getting a higher budget makes things really, really better.
Maybe in La La Land.
Yeah.
Good budget is good, let's not lie.
Actually, it makes things easier now.
Yeah, but
Yeah, exactly.
a drag. Someone is always pulling the string from somewhere.
Yeah. It's like local Nollywood movies that you see on like TV. If you see the CGI or some things where someone just disappears and pops up, or maybe all those funny things, and you compare it to like polished ones they show in cinema, you can see that the difference is clear, like very
Crystal.
clear. Yeah, crystal.
Well, anyways, I think I get what you're saying. And thank you for the breakdown. And I like the analogy with premium services and non-premium services. I think that sort of puts it in perspective for me how different
Yeah.
big budget is to not so big budget as well. Yeah, I think I get it more now. Thank you for that. Toyosi,
Oh yeah. So
any
sorry, before she talks,
reactions?
there's
Yes.
one more thing I wanted to add. Maybe after she talks, I'll mention it.
None of you, please go ahead.
Okay, so there's a thing with being a respected producer or a producer, not even necessarily. You could be a producer doing something for the first time, and you could do something that you could like stand up for yourself. So someone like Queen Afolayan now, he like the whole Netflix like funding and everything for Nkolapo was there. But there's a way he always fights for intellectual debt, like since as long as I've known him. His movies, he has like some I think wasn't my one that he was figurines now and some other ones that it was like, it has the way it goes with like you said.
October 1st. He did the figurine October.
Yeah, like
That
so many movies, and then you said.
I watched that October 1st over and over. I really liked it.
Yeah, me too.
I was
Me too.
one of the films, honestly.
Yeah, there are like so many movies, and then there's a way he always goes for his intellectual debt, like regardless of what the audience think. There are also actors, directors like him. There's Christopher Nolan that don't really care what they think. They just go straight for the intellectual whatever. So I think there's a way as a director producer, you just stand for what you want. Though it might cost you, but you just stand for what you want. Regardless of whether it really makes as much waves as you want, you always remember for who you were, what you stood for, and no matter your vibe will always attract your tribe. So you always find people that like your story, your storytelling, or whatever your content, like no matter what.
Wow. I love that. Your vibe will always attract your vibe. I shall say that and quote you.
Yeah, your favorite to use your favorite.
That's good. That's good. That's wonderful. Wow. I love that. Okay, so let's get a bit more into the aspect of brand influence, because we are now starting to see something else pop up too. It's not even recent, sef, but it's been. There is one thing about people that are even dumping money. Then there is now when it comes to the aspect of brands, big name brands, and so because they themselves, mind you, can also be investors because they have a product and they have money and backing. So, how do you think we can navigate safe storytelling in a world where brands and politics heavily get to influence what gets lit? And I think, so then this is taking me to an episode of BoJack Horseman. It's an animated series on Netflix. So
Yeah.
anyway, there's a particular episode whereby they have to show chicken for days. I think chicken for days or something. I think that's the product in the film. Chicken. Let's just call it chicken for days inside the cartoon, and it had to be said in a way that the character, like they had to build around this because this company most likely would have invested in this film, so they had to kind of build a bit around this chicken for days bar of chicken, the bucket of chicken, in a way that the actor has to interact with it in a smart way. Before it wasn't really so much in our faces, but these days I see it so much in our faces. It was just, in fact, at the end of the day, they had to just give the chicken for this bucket of chicken a lot of screen time in a way. And I've seen it happen. There's even a Chinese drama like this where we still jest about it in our house, about how they just push that product in our eyes too much. The title of the drink, I still even can't forget it because it has burned into my memory. Rio, 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 Rio. You should just like tell me you sponsored the show without telling me you sponsored the show. Like you should have put your bottles all over the film. Like it's at least now it's burned into my memory. And also, I know, right? And also, I remembered there's also in the latest Fokakedele film, there's a way that you just kind of know that okay, yeah, this show was sponsored by.
Yeah. Even this Achalugo part 2 self, that one was this
But
one, that one was what? That one,
you know
but
that that's
Love
why you
in
just
every word.
all of them are all arranged like this on the table, auntie. It's also funny. And before we dive more, I feel like well, I watch K drama, she get. So why did I just say that like as though that's a guilty pleasure? Anyway, I watch K drama anyway.
it is a guilty pleasure, of course.
I'm saying
You
hi.
know your time.
Like I said, I'm speaking at an AA meeting. Hi, my name is Skinny, and I am a user of Namen. I watch K drama. So where did they show their products in like 1 second? 1 second is literally like maybe what those products get, and in a way it sticks to my brain. It's not. So I wonder why are they okay with like why are their brands which are obviously sponsored okay with like 1 or 2 seconds on screen and probably not even being necessarily shown again. Sure you get versus how I see it in some other industries whereby it just has to be hammered on in a way that now we sponsor this thing, so give us like 3 to 4 lines to talk about us in a fine way. So these are all part of the politics of storytelling because you need that their money. So basically, what do you think about this? I've given multiple examples because in fact, as I was just asking the question, multiple examples were coming to my brain. But like, what do you really think about this thing? Like how brands and politics are now tending to influence what gets told in a particular story.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you said. I was laughing inside because I can relate. I can relate. You know, BoJack Horseman, the is it Chinese or K drama? I watch like everything. You know what I said now? Like I'm a jack of all trades. Have so many interests. So it doesn't matter what you watch, whether it's anime, whether it's animation, whether it's Korean or Chinese, Indian, American. I can actually relate because I consume content that's like creative. Because I believe like from different places because it kind of changes your perspective, it changes your worldview, and everyone everywhere is telling different stories that changes how you see life.
Thank you, Jerry. You hear that? My co-host, you hear? If you like, don't watch K-drama performing, you are bigger than us.
Okay. K-drama, let me debunk it now. Not I'm debunking it, like for him, let me explain to him now. So
Yeah.
there are some that you should watch that go. It's just with Indian movies. The time when I was really
Do
into
you
Indian
have
movies, like
do you have
that was so many years
recommendations
ago.
now? Do you have
Like for which one?
recommendations
Is
you
it
can
K
give me
drama?
now? For
Is
K
it for
drama,
Indian
let's
movies
start
or
with
K
that.
drama? Okay, for K drama. For K
Yes.
drama, let me see. What do you like to watch? Is it like normal? Okay, there's this thing anime called Slice of Life, where it's like boring
So
daily episodes, or you want action,
let me
thriller,
tell you the
adventure,
type
mystery. Okay,
let me
sure.
tell you the type I've seen before. I don't know whether they
Okay,
tag it K drama. As at the time when I was watching it, me and my older sister were watching it at some point when we were still in secondary school. So we saw
okay.
Boys Before Flower
Oh, yes.
together.
Oh yeah,
Is that
nice,
known as
nice.
K drama? Is that K drama?
Yes.
Yeah, it
But
is. It is.
Okay. We saw City Hunter.
okay, great, great.
Yeah. Okay.
We now saw because I think we were both at the same time we were both obsessed with this guy, Lee Min Ho. What was that his name again?
Of course.
That guy.
Yeah, yeah,
That guy.
yeah.
So we're like very obsessed with that guy. And then I think we saw one like this, but we didn't get to finish it. Is it My Love from Another Star or something like that? It was
Yeah, my
just
love
back
from
to
another
back. We
star.
are just
Yeah.
watching those three, and it was series. It wasn't like a movie. We got CDs for days. And that back then, we carry our papa's laptop and put it somewhere. We get the CDs from friends in school that have watched it already because a lot of secondary school girls were obsessed with K-drama. I think K-drama self, even it's girls that basically brought it into this country. It's women. If there was no need for it from women like this, I don't think it would have ever come to my front. So the thing about K-drama now is that I don't know. Sometimes the suspension of disbelief, just like Indian films too at times, is on another level. Sometimes.
Yeah,
And
it is.
you know what? It's hypocritical for me to say this because Nollywood too has their own, so their own suspension of disbelief too is crazy. But at the end of the day, I think I rated more Hollywood films than I did, and I don't know, maybe it was conditioning. I really don't know. I rated more Western films than I did what we had here. The quality, the stories they told, stuff like that. I just really rated them. So I think maybe that's why I see K-drama a little less. I don't really put it up there, but reality has been showing me some shaggy recently, so I've had to doff my hat to some of the things they have been doing. Can we call a film like Parasite K-drama? It's even Korean. It's
Okay.
Korean now.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
It's Korean, but
It is.
I don't think we can call it K-drama. Not necessarily.
You can now.
Well,
It's a
yeah, you
name.
can. It's
I
just a
mean,
genre. It's just not the typical one, It's just like a different
yeah,
genre of
right.
K-drama.
Because it has like the best bits of it, but it doesn't have all the sappy emotional singing at some point when
Because
the
of watching
secondary
the
school
romantic
girl loves
side.
a bully or something.
Uh, that's
Yeah.
But let's go back to Yinka Aje. Continue what you were saying, Abeg. Me,
If,
I
if,
was just
if you
chiming
want,
in.
if you want later, I can explain it like in detail. Like stuff like anime.
Yeah,
There's
I
a way
think,
they are storytelling it.
yeah,
There's like so many aspects. There's
exactly.
isekai where you come again another world. There's just slice of life. They have like different ways they tell stories. So all
yeah.
these like
When do you find time?
story whatever.
When do you
Once you
find
see
time?
the
When do
plot
you
like this,
find
you already
time?
know which is which. No,
When do you
even
find
then I
time
had
to
my
watch
different
these
phases.
things?
No,
When
I
do you
had like
find time
different
to watch
phases
these
for
things?
everything. It's not like I watched like that again. Now I mostly try to write and do other things, but okay, I still watch. I
No,
still watch
okay.
this. So it
Don't let
depends.
him
Actually it depends.
what you are doing.
God. Toyosi, continue, abeg, because me, this K drama thing. Don't worry, we'll fight in the DMs.
I will
Yinka will
fight it.
fight in the DMs.
Let this
Sure.
be a
Oh yeah, have you watched this one? Okay, this one is safe. Like for people whether they like non-necessary action is like just chill. But King the Land, it's one K drama like this. It's about a
little
On
guy
what's the
who
name again?
thing the
King
land.
the Land,
King. God,
King the Land.
abeg.
You know what? You know
Don't
what?
worry, you spell it later.
Let's do something.
Yeah, sure.
You know, I feel like the angle that Demola is coming from is from the angle of elite. And don't worry, I understand.
It is
Because
an AF.
No, I totally get what Demola means. See, what he's saying is like another podcast on his own. See, there's this Western view because of the Westernization and everything. Most of us in Spain, they used to English and Western content. That when you see Western movies, you rate them. I totally understand. Rate them higher than local or even movies from other. So there's this
Yeah,
standard that we have. Once it doesn't meet that standard, it just it's boring. Now K drama is
exactly.
boring. There are some K dramas that are action packed. That even Western sci-fi, there's like so many aspects. Like there's still some K drama, you follow
Yeah,
K drama.
okay,
But
yeah.
before you
I
find
remember
another
this
one
one.
that's that exact same type,
I remember
okay.
this one, Jumong, that I used to watch back then. That was
Oh yeah,
more of
yeah, Jamal.
historic. It was like historical drama, but it was actually K drama, right?
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
basically. So I get what you're saying about holding a certain standard. Like imagine me now being like really young and one of the first like proper films I saw. I call it proper because I must have seen like a bunch of other films before then. But I rated this one as proper was Titanic. And that was
Oh
what
yeah,
really like
Titanic was a classic.
sparked,
Titanic was a
yes,
classic.
sparked like my love for film and theater. I really like the way they shot the film as at the time, with the way the scenes were shot, with the way they said they used a miniature
oh,
ship to shoot the
Yeah,
sinking and stuff like. I don't see. It was like hindsight is 2020 to be honest, because seeing from
yeah,
like looking back at it now and seeing the secrets and the tricks they used on camera, is mind blowing. Because as at the time, I really thought like the way I watch films when I was small actually was I immersed myself so much in the films that I thought like can't these people see that a camera is recording all the things that they are doing? Because that was how I know it sounds weird, but you will have to just suspend disbelief for this one. Anyways, it's Omo. I love film. Okay, I can't lie, but the westernization thing, I think it's a major problem and probably a topic for another podcast. But carry on. Sorry for
I
disturbing.
agree. No, no problem. I know you're not sorry. There's like more things you could talk about. Just I don't want to digress again. Another one I could also, that K drama again is this one that you might also like is Alchemy of Fate. That it was the name again.
You.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
See, I want to. Should I give you my recommendation?
Sure.
You can feel like
Sure.
him.
See, don't give me recommendation. Let's focus on what we are doing.
You could give me recommendations. Okay, at least just one, sir. Just for anyone listening, and later I could
Is
ask
your
you for the rest.
recommendation is your recommendation list as exhaustive as Sir Yinka's qualifications?
Of course not. Right? Of course not. But let me tell you, I feel like you want something that fits your mind. You want something that is like brainiac, something that will enter and like give it to you. So I'm going to tell you, watch Trigger. It is
Trigger.
I'm going to tell you to watch Mouse, and I'm going to tell you.
Mouse. Yeah. Mouse is on my list. That's thriller and psychological. Yeah, psychological thriller. Yeah, it's on my list. I've seen clips. Friends told me about it. Like it's really good.
And you can watch When Life Gives You Tangerines. It's a wonderful story.
That was also on my list. I think I haven't started. I'm not even sure, but yeah, that one is really good.
The K drama is
When Life Gives You Tangerines.
Such depth.
There's no more lemons again, have we?
No, this one is tangerines. Because
okay.
What
else?
What else? I have a long list though. The Glory.
Don't worry. Let's finish the segment first. Then maybe after we can talk about these films. I'm really interested.
Yeah, let's go.
Sure.
Actually, it captured my heart. I'm interested.
Okay. Okay, so you're talking about the whole safe storytelling and like how political interests are the green lights and how brands like I think you mentioned Funke Akindele. You start to wonder if they're the ones actually like is it this person sponsored that's doing everything, and then you're like maybe starting to get annoyed or it starts to get funny or cringe. So and then I think she gave the example of the BoJack Horseman and some other K and T drama and everything. So basically, the best way to just go about this is just strategically align without surrendering. Brands just like wants like you to be relatable. You said
that's a war tactic. You said strategically align without
surrendering.
Write that down.
So there's a way. Okay, if you're okay. Yeah, there was a time I was also for a long time I've always wanted to shoot my own movie. Like now it's on my list. Like especially since I think it was in 2020 or 2021, I really, really, really wanted to. I started going for this thing to Thursday film series. It was really nice. They used to shoot really short movies. I think I went with some of my friends then. That time I really wanted to shoot a movie, but because of work and some other things, I wasn't able to. But still on my list. Maybe I might end up shooting like sooner than I expect. But when you want to shoot a movie, whether small or big, or when you want to organize an event, I'm also an event manager too. Sorry, I don't know if I mentioned that. You kind of tend to so many things. Yeah. So you tend to just like get sponsors and everything, and each of them has their own values. So now the problem is everybody you see, even people you see along the street, your values are not the same. Doesn't mean you're not going to be fine. But this is your work. This is going to be on your seat. People might not even know people that sponsored you, but this is going to be for life, your legacy, what people remember you as. So you just have to be careful when it comes to these things because the brand visibility, everybody has different things now. You might want family values, the other person might not care about family values, and you have to think about like the social media audience reviews, so many things. You might care about empowerment, some people might not care about empowerment. Like there's some really nice people that use their movies to empower other people. There's like so many things that like maybe humor, some things that some people don't appreciate. So you just have to be careful. At the end of the day, if you stand your ground, if you stand your like all these producers that are stubborn or or you know what you're doing, you tend to get more out of it, sir. Because most people want to go for especially political interest, they want to go for safer narratives. Okay, they kind of work with everybody. Someone might want to go with a very radical approach to something. I'm sure I'll think of some movies, but let me try not to that fight. Okay. So people that go with radical stuff, sometimes it's just like how it starts like a new movement or begins ushers in like a new generation of like crazier, it's possible that someone could wake up tomorrow and decide, I want to shoot movies the same way they used to shoot like all those Sharon, all those ones with like intense cultural depth and everything. There's more we do with English and everything. That someone could decide they want to do everything like from scratch. They want to do Yoruba. They want to get the whole details, the cultural everything. They want to get it right. They want to get the casting right. there's so many ways. Hope I'm not digressing, Sha. There's so many ways that movies can empower people, can give people ideas, can even like do so much. It can just help humanity in more ways than you expect. But at the end of the day, it comes down to funding. The best way when it comes to funding is to get like hybrid funding or funding from different sources. Where it's not like only directly from one investor. If you do that, you just have to dance to their tune. Depends if this is nice or not. If you get funding from different sources, it's just like a company. You have different stakeholders. So everybody actually has to agree on the side. Maybe a person that carries more shares than you have person, or one person has to go around for one person or like concede. So it's understandable. But if you only have like maybe one key stakeholder or two key stakeholders and they're saying this, I don't want this, at the end of it, you have no choice. But when you have more options, more funding, and more revenue links, then it kind of helps. People like Funke Akindele, like Jade Osibero, they kind of excel here. They understand, they get how it goes. Because like, oh yeah, also the PR. I think I mentioned already. Okay, I didn't. They understand like you said.
At this point, you tell us you were once a president.
Oh, I kind of did politics too, so yeah, all of that was there. No important. Okay, so people like Funke Akindele, Jade Osibero, the reason why, the reason why their success and their movies blow. If they didn't put that much energy and they didn't understand how the markets work, they will not get to where they are. See now, see Tribe of Judah and so many other things. Like you have to understand how the markets goes. You will get like a lot of sponsors, you put in a lot of work. You might not feel appreciated at the beginning, but you will get there. So if you don't put in that work before you get there, like yeah, sometimes obviously you have to concede to some things. Maybe you're using Coca. If you're using a brand like maybe Coca-Cola or something like that, you know that you have to reduce the way you're showing other brands too, because after you don't insult the brand. There's so many like when it comes to PR, marketing, brand imaging, there's like so many things you have to consider. And brands, you have to work these brands that are working with you that you're not using like now. If you want to use KFC and Chicken Republic and you same sponsors now, you have to be careful like you said it doesn't clash. So that's so good at doing all these things that they might put like so many brands, like even more than 50 brands, like it might not even be obvious. And there are some like this K drama and C drama like where they do it. Okay, where they do it that it becomes very very like obvious. Okay, so okay. Oh yeah, sorry, Odimola. I just realized there's one of your questions I didn't fully answer. That was the one about the new and old. Let me not say takers. The new and old structures, yes. But don't worry, I'll still get back to that one. So,
Thank you.
Sponsorship. The best thing to do is just use the whole sponsorship thing like as just get like from different sources. That's the best. It's not easy to get sponsorship, like, but don't try and use only one major this thing. Like if say someone that you work with well and everything goes well, because there was a time even when was it not 2025? Yeah, that was last year. No, yeah, when streamers started pulling back and more brands started like stepping in and everything. And there's a level to which trying to self-sponsor, try to seek sponsorship, you just need like some solid brands or people with more funding to take over basically. And the brand, like there are some brands that just know what you stand for. There are some that have to bend. But I mean, if you can do what you want and you can speak your truth and shoot your movies without having to bend or change it for someone else, I mean that's like beauty. That's the truth. So
That's the income
I
truth.
guess yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and back to my question. Back to that my question. Before
Okay, yeah.
please.
So your question the thing about the whole structures, I can't remember. I get the essence of questions, right? It's like a democracy, but like that democracy, let's put a pie chart there. It's like stakes. Let me use pie chart as an example. Now there are different stakes in democracy. There's no single. It's okay. No, sorry, I'm remembering it here. There's no single gatekeeper. There's no single gatekeeper these days. I mean, there's the old power. When it comes to old power, you think of all those big like big studios, international streamers, like that have like the budget, that have that power. That anything, even if it's a very dumb, silly washed up story, they can really put it into something and make it trend and make it a blockbuster. And there's the new the new power, the new deciders like YouTube. Anybody can wake up, shoot their movie, put it on YouTube, and then it blows. There's some Harry Potter fan-made movies. There's some Naruto. There's one really good Rock Lee fan-made movie. There's like so many fan-made movies and just normal movies that they kind of go with. New deciders. There's also cinema too. cinemas, they kind of do a lot. Though, yeah, there was a reel I saw recently about a woman there was a lady who was talking about putting like local, yeah, it's something you would have liked. If I find that real stuff, maybe I'll send to you. Yeah, there was this lady talking about how to put power in the hands of the local, like people, like fresh people that are just starting out, using local creators making new movies. Like if you think about it, a lot of blockbusters they put like all these guys in mass, natural. But sometimes they should like create maybe a special time or day or just segment for like all these new movies, like to allow their work to shine through to get like more recognition for what they deserve. Yeah, I think I already mentioned Funke Akindele, I mentioned Ruth Kadri, Omoni Oboli. Oh yeah, Bimbo Ademoye too. Yeah, she give her credit too. Then they were like, you said?
I said she's really dropping a lot.
She's trying. Oh, yeah, she's really trying. She has a lot of talent. There's like local. I think I even heard of this one recently. There's this cover one by local pop cover launched by was it Ink Blot and Film House? Yeah, they also try Ink Blot and Film House. It's a local platform, so I heard of it. I've not really had much, but I know even Film House they have their film one. Yeah, like a lot of local brands. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, continue.
Okay, a lot of local brands they shall try to fill up the gap in their own way. So like independent creators are basically breaking their own structures because they are not going through the standard route. They're expecting to do the whole So you kind of control and own the distribution and like your audience and everything. So but like for the big power, the old power, like the backing and everything, they have like more when it comes to piracy and everything, they have more like foolproof plans like against all of that basically.
Well, okay, just to drive the conversation forward, because I think we're almost getting to the tail end, but I wanted to, take us to, this wasn't even part of any prepared question. I wanted to get your thoughts on something entirely different, because I also read in your bio that you are a product designer and a therapist. Am I correct?
Yes.
Right. So you know that what we consume shapes our reality in a way, right? What we see and what we take in, right? So if these people that are funding our stories care more about marketability than the human truth, are we effectively designing a culture that is more, how do I put it now? That is more interested in being entertained than being healed? Do you get the question?
Yes, I do. This your question is very deep, very, very deep. Okay, if you're more interested in being entertained than being healed, the truth is, the sad truth is, no, a lot of people might not agree, but it kind of tends to go with the, entertained part because entertainment is a lot. I don't want to say everything, but it's a lot. Subconsciously, we don't even notice, but we go with these things. Instagram. I saw a reel recently about how they make the videos like pigmentation and everything. If you turn off the settings or something, and it's just normal blank colors, and then the colors are not really shooting out, you kind of tend to lose interest. A lot of things, it comes down to entertainment. Most of these things. When it comes to being healed, there are some special movies like that kind of work. It's not every time people get that lucky to release content that tell their truth and heal. There are some movies that they create specially to heal other people, which is really nice. We need more of that. So most times they just tend to, even when it comes to market sort of things, it's just about selling and making money and profit. Profit at the end of the day. When it comes to movies, some people are down, especially investors. They're always just down on profits. So at the end of the day, it just leans more to the entertainment part and being healed. Hopefully, things change. Like some people are trying. Hopefully, things change because
we've got into a situation where. Sorry for cutting you. We've got into a situation
no,
where.
Please do. I can talk after. Yeah.
Yeah, the business of the art itself, has coincided a lot, and right now I think it has thrown the art into like the back burner. The art is not as important anymore as much as the business side of it. Let's juxtapose with the medical industry now. So medicine, there's medicine, there's the medical profession, then there's the business of medicine. There's big pharma, right? So
Okay.
I'm sorry for entering into sort of a
So,
of a
I
political
also have experience in
discussion.
medical part, so I understand.
Exactly.
If you want, there's a series I could
I know.
recommend when you mentioned Big Pharma.
Me, I know. That's why I'm saying
Okay.
this. But anyways, so there's
Okay.
the business of, and I'm not outrightly claiming that I have proof of anything happening, but there are these things that go around of people creating certain illnesses so that they can sell you the cure and stuff like that. And
Yes.
I'm starting to
Yes.
see like something similar in this film industry, but I don't know how best I can explain it that it will make sense in film industry, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like there's the
Yeah.
business of it, then there's the of it as well. And those things, when those things start to coincide, the lines start to get blurred. I think the lines start
Yeah.
to get blurred, and people don't appreciate the art as much anymore because it has been sold to them as like basically a product. People don't call them movies anymore. It's like sometimes I heard, not sometimes, I hear it's content. It's not film anymore. Meanwhile, content is like a different thing altogether. All those skits and stuff like that, that's basically content. Movies are movies. But now they call it content, and it's been so productized. I don't know. What do you think about this whole thing that I've laid out here? Or Abi, am I the only one that's thinking critically about it? Even Toyosi, you can chime in as well. It's not just for Yinka.
Let's see his perspective.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe I should allow her to talk first, Abby. Should I talk first?
Oh, please talk first.
Okay. So, again, you like talked about. Can you come again? Like the first part, I had the last part, but the first part, kind of.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
What
I'm
did you pick up
saying,
on the first part?
what do you think about basically what I've just said now about the mixing of the art and the business? Like it's becoming more of a product now. They don't call
Okay. Yes.
movies
Okay.
movies anymore. Most times they are now calling it content now. Like it's a skit, or like it's it's more of
Okay.
the money making machine than anything else. What do you think?
Okay. I get. I totally had that part. I totally get it because they just sell it and pump it to you. They don't really care about your feelings before, like, whether it's traditional or digital marketing. There's a way they go back and try and get like your opinion of things, whether offline or online. They try and see, okay, if you like, you're well informed. They try and see what your perspective is. They use that information to like make better movies. Now they don't really care that much because you already know, you already have people are bored in the entertainment, whether it's like digital or traditional. They just pump it there because people will watch it regardless, so they'll have an audience. The crucial factor is now if you get like raking as much profits as you get. So it's scary, sure, but these days they tend to go with you know with all of that. It's just that there's this okay, an example I can use. It doesn't exactly, I'm not sure if you know it, but there's this series, The Boys. So though it's a bit violent, it has like a view for people that love like plot. It goes against the usual superhero stuff. It's like not
Yes.
maybe parody and satire. But if you like superhero stuff and you get tired of it, you could check it out. Though there's a lot of gore, it might probably traumatize you or not, depending on how much you can take. But there's this their PR from bot marketing, which I really like. Like I like their approach. Those guys can turn
Yeah.
red to white, like they can turn blue to
Yes.
orange. They It doesn't matter. Even if you're Adolf Hitler, they can make everybody love you, and that's scary. It doesn't matter how much of a person you are. If you're a terrible person, it's a terrible product. They can change it in ways, and it's to scare you how they do all these things. So they're so good that they can just change like anything around. Any product you don't want, just give it to them. They'll sell it out for you. Funny enough, that's how it just shows you limits to how scary PR or marketing can get. So at the end of the day, you start to wonder like these things now, do they really care about your feelings or what you really want, or you're just it's just passing all these products to you. You're turning like content to entertainment, they're turning to drugs. So after a while, it's like how pharmacies are now. They check a particular dosage or a particular batch. Okay, this batch is not going wrong. It's this, it's that. They already have like the basic elements or emotions that they want there, or the color gradient, everything there that kind of hooks you. And then they decide, okay, this is okay, this batch is good, and then they pump it out to you. By the time they keep doing that, they try to keep getting better. They make something with a better dosage. They pump it out to you again, and you get it, you like it. So they keep going with that, they keep experimenting. At the end of the day, most of these companies, they try to go on the safe side. That's it. They just keep perfecting like a better batch, so they make more profits. It's rare. It's not that it's rare, Sha, but you see a lot of some people on the scale. It's fewer people that kind of go with the more radical approach where they just do what they want and then you risk it all and try to see if it comes out being a success or not. That's the beauty, Sha, but most times it's better to just stay in between and well, not necessarily just take risks like that without planning for it.
That's
Right.
so.
It's I actually, to be honest. Well, Toyosi, before you chime in, okay, Toyosi, I think it's best you say what you have to say now because I'm taking it to like a totally different angle with the Nigerian context.
Yeah, mine will disappear. I just want to like in what you were saying about the art and the business aspect, like, and the
Okay.
content. I'm really just thinking about how this whole creativity thing is something that, let's not lie, it actually needs it needs comfortable money. And there's a part when you said something about, telling, you were talking about telling story, and I just even thought about the fact that you said people that do radical stuff and they just don't care and all like that. I feel like for you to do something radical and for you to not care and it still goes beyond and gets screen time, I feel like it's some kind of privilege. Because let's not lie, even though we do say those big companies that they make a lot of money and stuff like that, which is true, definitely. I'm also realizing that they also have their own stakeholders. Like they also have people working under them. They also need people that it's entertainment has now become every day, every week, every hour, people want something to eat. The audience is consuming. And let's not lie, I'm a consumer. So it really just takes maybe someone that they don't even worry about money to be able to tell stories that are unadulterated, I feel. Because then you don't care. You have your own money, you can do things, but it's just sad that
Yeah.
I feel like it comes from some kind of privilege.
Yeah.
Say, oh, don't worry, I'll create any kind of content I want. Any brand that wants to come with me should go. Should come.
That's the angle I wanted to come from. I was trying to streamline it down to a Nigerian context.
Mm.
Like, do we have enough disposable income for stuff like this? Like, like the majority of the audiences, do they have enough disposable income for stuff like this in the first place? Yeah, like, so what I'm trying to say basically is like, we are not even earning enough in this country. We are not comfortable enough in this country for people to want to embark on projects like this where it's just about the art for art's sake and not art for commercial sake. Like in theater, they will teach us there's commercial theater, there's community, there's different ones, right? So in this aspect, there are in the aspect of theater, there are not many free theater shows, if at all. They are not films where it's just for the art's sake. It's not to entertain you. It's to make you think. It's a political statement or something like that. Toyosi, what do you think?
Yeah, like it's what you said is basically the smart truth. Like there's the one for the community, there's the one for the how can I say it? For the community
For
and
the paying audience.
and we know what pays the most. I saw in one film, How to Get to Heaven from Belfast. It's grand. It's from Ireland anyway. So it's that's what they say. When something is fine, they say it's grand. Anyway, so my main point. She was like, whatever happened? Like she's a writer, she's winning awards, but she's like, whatever happened? I wanted to tell such stories like this, blah blah blah. Then the person beside her said, yeah. Then you realize that you had to buy things because it's crazy. If you are in a system whereby you cannot profit very well off your own creativity, you won't even be able to stay in the game long enough to keep on producing more because hunger will don't finish you. Like it's just very, very crazy. Community one way, I mean for community, you know that it's for community. It is free. Wow, will change your life. That kind of thing. This is not good to do in the
Yeah.
community. Do it. And I feel like a balance that maybe creators can have is when you have done for selling, because let's not lie, let nobody come and start romanticizing things for us. In this world, we need to eat. If you don't eat, you cannot even think of ideas. You have to make money. You have to pay people that have joined you so that you don't even resent you can love acting, you can love directing, but If it doesn't pay, your ideas will start drying up, like, because you can't eat. And it's so sad. We all wish that our passions could pay us as well as the 9 to 5s, or as the
Yes.
people. They just love making beaded bags or something, or just crocheting,
Mm.
or and because they cannot do it or just making paper crafts. But because they cannot
Mm.
pay that well, it
Yeah.
just, you start hating the arts, and then suddenly somebody pays you like $1 million to make something in a particular way.
Mm.
You will make it, and then if you
Mm.
still have passion and love it, I feel like you can strike a balance where you work for the money. Money is not bad. Let's not demonize
Mm.
money. And then you now also strategically do some things, maybe for the community, for charity, and use the money you've gained for business to tell the stories of your heart. Do you get my point?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally
Yeah,
get you, Jared.
yeah, I
Totally
do.
get you. Yeah, Yinka, what do you think?
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. I totally understand because you're interested. I have so many hobbies, and at some point I have to think myself down like which ones really pay more money. There are songs that make me like very happy. There's songs that okay, it's for fun and so many things. Like, but at the end of the day, you have to decide okay, which ones pay you money, the ones you can do for fun that might not pay you that money. You have to like consider all of those factors. Strike a balance. The beaded bags too is like a very good example. So many things that might even like might not like pay now doesn't mean that it doesn't pay in the long run. That's the funny part that people don't usually consider. Then yeah, entertainment, that entertainment thing is a slippery slope. If you want to think about it, it's scary. Everybody needs like some form children, like from children all the way to adults. Everybody needs some form of entertainment. So at some point they just pump it out like drugs. They just pump it out like drugs for everybody and decide like which one works for which person. Funny example to use. For creativity, I could liken it to cooking. So there was a part where I think it was Demola that was talking about how it's expensive or something and it costs. So cooking now, if you just want to order or something or you want to just cook, there's a way you can do it and just do it to get by. But there's a way, oh yeah, I'm also a chef too. So I don't talk about that stuff. But
See,
there's a time
now
where
it's
I used
just
to
ridiculous. It's
Daddy,
just
eh?
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's
So
just ridiculous.
I asked myself the same question too. So there was this time where I used to enjoy going out to my friends, side. Like he's also a chef, so he has moved out of the country now. I was a chef, I could cook and everything, but sometimes it was more fun to be with my guy and chill, cook together or watch him cook, do cool stuff, offer advice and there's this level of creativity where sometimes you don't just do it, you have to consume, you have to watch, you have to learn. And even cooking is like very nice example. Everyone's talk about making music now, but cooking, there's a way you can just cook and cook together. There's a way you can cook and be creative that there's the experimentation part where okay, you want to bake cakes or everything, and then there's this batch you have to perfect, and you have to invest. Some might not turn out that well, some might turn well, and it's different from the normal stuff you just do to play it safe. This also okay applies to movies though. There's just so many aspects. Like being a chef, you have to decide okay which menu works for people. This doesn't work. You have to consider okay too much salt or too much sugar or too much oil. You also have to consider like this food I'm cooking. If someone react to this, you have to check. Oh, people usually react to this whatever this thing. Make sure to remove it out of what you're cooking. All those things like it's like really deep, sha. By the time you get to a position where you're creating, you have to consult stuff like, people hate this plot, like this nonsense plot, like, unnecessary cringy romance works sometimes, doesn't work sometimes, but you know, you just start like doing mathematics and you're combining, and a lot of people might not like math, sha. But at least I like math, so. But some people, you just start to do like the mental mathematics of all these things, and then you decide which and which to, leave out.
It's so oh, see, it's a wide topic, to be honest. It's a big topic, and we can't
Yeah,
exhaust it.
it
Honestly, we
is.
can't exhaust.
It
Let
is.
me before we get into the very final question, which is like
Okay.
more of a jokey type of question, but let me just quickly say
Okay.
this. So for everyone watching, right, if you are enjoying the conversation, please share this live, invite friends, share this even after the episode has been posted, and follow at hi_film academy. That's hi_film academy. Remember that the live session is being recorded and will be available later on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, on the Hubert Ifokombale Film Academy channel. If so, you can always come back to listen again. Once again, if you're interested in joining the academy, registration is ongoing. The link is in our bio. Now, so I wanted to quickly prompt you. As an experienced creative that you are in the industry, what advice would you give to young people who want to start in acting, in film, in the creative space, basically, or wherever you've been? Because basically, you are doing everything now. To be honest, I don't know what else. The only thing you've not said is maybe you're an astronaut or something. So, how do you how important do you think training and learning from institutions like film academies is for people that want
Okay,
to start out?
okay, okay. Wait, before I answer that question, funny enough, I was watching a show where the guy was having midlife crisis, and he he was into a lot of things. He was into construction. He was into so many things, and he even mentioned that his first option self was an astronaut. He went to like train and everything. I was surprised, like wow, I could really relate to the guy. I was like, not me, sha.
God,
So something I dreamed of once.
it's a begging.
Okay, so I think film academies are very important. I had a conversation about this with someone recently. He was okay, yeah, one of my guys. So he we were basically talking about how Nigeria or a lot of countries how they just tend to prioritize the um like institutions. You tend to okay, maybe universities or you go to schools and everything. But when it comes to having like professional schools dedicated to one thing, maybe marketing, maybe PR, maybe making movies, maybe film schools, we don't really put it with much levity like that. Because not everybody goes to school now. Some people just start going to school, they get tired, they drop out, or one thing or the other, something pops up. If you go to a school that specializes in something, you can beat my chest. Can beat my chest right now, you will be very good and you're passionate and everything, you'll be very good at it. So going to like a film school or something might even kind of still you might even still be successful, as successful, even more successful than somebody that went took years to learn in university and everything. It's just down to the right opportunities, the right connects, the right being in the right rooms and where people mention your name and everything.
Who doesn't want to be in
You
the
very much.
Abio, I mean, who doesn't?
Exactly. So you can go ahead and just ask him that
yes
quirky question.
quirky
Okay,
or
wait, before she asks, there's something I wanted to mention. I forgot. When I started
All
talking
right.
about chefing and cooking, like there's nothing I talk about that without talking about rice. And there was your creativity stuff where you were talking about consuming and everything. So there's a point in my life, well, some points in my life where I just stopped consuming content. Yes, I have some phases like that, especially like was it last year or even before that? Like for a long time, like even this part of this year too, lot of this year too. Like I just stopped consuming content. Like I wasn't consuming content. I wasn't familiar with like the latest K drama. I wasn't familiar with the latest movies or anything or all of that. And then even music set. So I was just like off the grid, living off the grid for so many reasons. And all of that kind of brought my creativity back. My creativity was still there, but sometimes you need to upgrade it. I don't even know if how that's possible. That concept is just coming to me right now. You upgrade creativity. I don't know if you upgrade it or you just draw it out more. So when you're in that, I get why writers have to disconnect sometimes. When you like disconnect, your like passion, everything starts coming back. You're not consuming again, and when you're not consuming, you have no choice but to create. Well, not everybody instinctively comes to some people. You have to create something. So like for past few days I've been up to like late at night trying to create and I can't sleep unless I create something. I don't know. Hopefully this phase I don't know if I should, hope it goes away or not. I kind of like it or sometimes. But even now, Steph, I was writing a book and I realized that wait, because I've not been consuming, it has not really influenced um how what I'm writing. Because if you're consuming much, what you're watching, like the lot of content you consume kind of dictates like a lot about your life. Depends if you have like a strong will, might not really matter, sure. But like there's a way where you watch and so many content you consume kind of influences what you do. Like now, if maybe we all watch K drama very well. There's a way this conversation can say just stick only to K drama. If it's Western movies, only to Western movies. So many artists. I've noticed some people, some people like, okay, for example, Christopher Nolan now. The guy doesn't have a phone. He has a stance and everybody doesn't have a phone. So he is more not particular about consuming content. He's more particular about creating content. So you spend time writing, living in the moment, staying off the grid.
His own world.
You just experience life. You take in the beauty of life, and it helps you to be more creative. You get to really stuff that maybe show people or share like different perspectives that can spark like so many intellectual conversations everywhere.
I like that. I like that perspective.
Yeah,
Something.
yeah.
Yeah, Toyosi, go ahead.
Okay, so I think you can talk now. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually like that perspective. Sometimes you just have to shut out the whole noise because let's not lie. I think we like to pretend that when we watch more content, we'll be much more incentivized to create. But what happens is we just get overstimulated, and sometimes you even now see somebody whose content or art is better than yours, and you'll be like, why do I even bother? Like, why do I even?
Yes,
So, but when
yes.
you can get to just get back into yourself and produce more. I like that. So
Yes.
now let's get interesting rapid fire questions. Now these questions
Okay.
we just pa. You know what pa is? Sharp, sharp.
Yes. So
So
very fast.
don't even too much. And in fact, Demola, I think I want us to even get in on it. But first, our
Our guest must answer first.
yes, you will answer first. Then we will also now our own answers. But it's just fast.
Let me give you a good disclaimer now. I will take the diplomatic answers for every single thing. Just be watching.
I beg. So we just want to get the answers. So let's go. The first question is artistic legacy or fat bank account.
Okay.
Do you
You
want
said artistic legacy or fast bank account.
like this or that? She get that kind of Now column.
No, I know my answer already. My answer is artistic legacy, obviously. But
Yes.
to be honest, who doesn't like money? So
Yes.
it kind of depends on the phase of life that you are at. Every individual has a breaking point, your creativity. So if you're at that breaking point, you said?
You're already giving us preaching. You don't choose your legacy.
Okay, no, I'm being right. Okay, the series, one of the series I'm watching currently is The Rookie. So the guy has this funny perspective, which I can relate to. So I don't know. I think for some reason, subconsciously, therapist me is saying that it might be. No, it doesn't necessarily have to be influenced by that because I do this stuff like internalize my stuff a lot. But everybody, I just want to explain the concept basically. Everybody has that point. You are at this point, breaking point where you decide if you are too low at that point and it hits you, you might tend to go for money. And if you are more stable and you can still deal with it, then you just go for it. Artistic legacy is the best. Like all those movies like Shawon, like Agogo War, like they're just so there's only cool. All those movies, if you can decide, you might not be exactly create those kind of thoughts. I mean, now new gen, it's just like anime. There's new gen and old gen anime. Each one has their beauty. So the artistic legacy is the most important thing because if you look at music, like it's a music also. Let's start talking about music. But like if you look at music, there are some bands or some like when you mention pop, you mention hip hop, you mention like so many you mention rock, you mention like many genres. There's no way you will not mention there's no way you will not mention pop without Michael Jackson. There's no way you will not mention
Fela without Afrobeat without Fela.
without like Fela, all these guys. There's no way you will mention rock without mentioning maybe ACDC, Linkin Park, so many other people. Everybody just has there are some people that have legacies there that you have something to remember them for. So artistic legacy is just the best. Like it's something you can do for your children, for your generation. Like even something that it's generational wealth in its own way that can help. It's not generational, but you can open doors, you can do so many things. Like not everything is necessary about generational wealth. Sometimes that in its own form, that artistic legacy in its own form is like people like look at children of like Fela, all these guys like Bob Marley, like see how the artistic legacy is always there. Sometimes it's not necessarily always about money.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that
Yeah.
in-depth
Wait,
break.
now I just remember. I don't know if you watch Stranger Things, so this is random, but like there was this time when I think years back when she announced she was going to get engaged, like, there was what's going on? Like, oh, our favorite star, all of a sudden. And then I think I found out was it her or was the guy she was getting married to or engaged to was like maybe is it the son of Francis Bon Jovi? And I was like, wow, like there's always that artistic legacy, there.
Yeah, that's great. It's so important, to be honest.
So, yo, what's your answer? All this one that you're beating
Okay.
around the bush. What's your answer?
Oh,
Okay, so artistic legacy is my answer. But you can also do both. You could do a lot of projects where you go artistic legacy, but
artistic legacy.
one of them you might compromise. Okay, you're saying something, seriously.
I said artistic legacy is your answer. Bam. It is this or
Yeah,
that.
that's my answer.
Platon.
Yeah.
Toyosi Yunka, what's your own answer?
There's a way you can do that, you can actually do both. But to be honest, like 99% of time or 95% of time, I'll put towards artistic legacy because I know like the significance, like nerd references. Like if you watch, I don't know if you watched the Ready Player One. It's
I
random.
not watched it.
Okay, you watch it. Oh, it's nice. If you read the book, there's always if you watch the movie, you will that like cool songs, like nerdy references and everything. But if you read the book, you will just be if you're not really that familiar like all these nerdy references and everything, like pop culture references. Yeah, better what more phrase what we use. You will just be wondering what's going on here. You'll be like, oh wow, this and this and that. Even through there, you'll be able to discover more cool stuff. And there was a part two which was packed. His book, I think they're working on the movie for Repair too. So like stuff like this, when you really consume content that like rich in pop culture and everything, like you would tend to go more with the artistic legacy of them because you're just like on the Hall of Fame somewhere. Like someone might even frame you, people might frame you in their houses or somewhere or always remember you for life. Like you would always be like the thing about art is it makes you immortal. You won't die, you're just alive. It's like being a god or something because gods you need people to remember or God, you need people to remember you. It's just the same way with art. You need people to like something for them to remember you by you need like a legacy. So I mean, I guess that's just basically. Though there are sometimes you might be able to compromise. Lucky, you might be lucky enough and be able to get money. Maybe even if it's just one project, you get that to get funding, and then wow, you can go underground again and continue doing your artistic legacy. But artistic legacy is always the best
Yeah,
at it because you might not really enjoy it, but other people, your children, other people might like
yeah, yeah.
reap the
You
benefits
eat
like
from it
later on.
actually.
Great.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
because your art
Oh,
can
how
later
could I know?
end up.
How could I not mention? I didn't mention Stanley. Oh, Stanley. If you
Oh,
see Stanley, like Stanley is life and
Mm,
everything.
of the Marvel
Is
universe.
yeah from Marvel Universe. I'm also a big fan of DC too. I don't know when that starts or not, but like like so many things when it comes to movies. But his life,
Nice.
like they even made a documentary about him. And was nice. Um, his
Nice.
life, everything about his life is just artistic leg. If you watch the documentary, you really like it. Like talks about him in detail. When he drew Spider Man, I think it was inspired by watching one fly. It wasn't even spider itself, just flying around, and he wonder what is one good. Before he now refined it, changed the draft. Now it's like, oh, spider, make it spider. I'm really grateful, Sha. I didn't make it a fly man. He made Spider Man like someone that was very really, really relatable to someone, unlike some heroes that have like some complexes, and it's someone that almost everybody can relate to. If you can't relate to Spider Man, you relate to some way. You at least relate to Peter Parker. So artistic legacy is just always there. It's something people can connect. It's just like music. How for years to come, like people always connect to like so many people's songs like Fela,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like so many popping people now.
Okay,
Like
okay,
it's just
okay. Let's
there.
stick.
It's just
Yeah, let's stick with artistic legacy then.
I mean,
Let's so because we don't have time again, we'll just continue with the next one. So it's just this or that. Let's not even if we go on tangents, we will not leave this call. We will not leave this episode at all.
actually
And I really
actually
think you know what I'm now second guessing whether we should have even started the entire podcast with these rapid fire questions because these questions are
uh,
actually crazy. But I wanted to ask
yeah
if
they
you
are
had to choose between a masterpiece that was seen by 100 people that changes their
okay
lives or a
okay.
blockbuster seen by millions of people but is forgotten within a week, which one are you picking?
I would go with a masterpiece that changes lives. Though. The other
God
option is
bless you.
more
Thank
tempting,
you.
but I know. See, there are a lot of movies, even show movies that will never really make it to global stage like that I've seen that has changed my life and my
Mm.
perspectives, like, worldview, that, all like a lot of things, people will not see. Because thing about storytelling is not just how it shows, like, transforms your life. It's yeah, it's about transforming your life. It's not just about the rich. Like, it's not just about how many people you reach. There's some people that care more about the money, but the impact is there. The impact is there.
Mm.
Because when it
Exactly.
resonates deeply with your bones, okay, this is it. This is the shit. This is what you really need
Hmm.
to watch. Like, like I think I
The
gave
next,
Kunle Apollon's examples already. Like, you just
yeah,
know what you want to watch. You know your audience, and then boom,
yeah, exactly.
you
The
just
cerebral audience.
release it all.
Let's not get back into that
Yeah.
one. So, all right.
Uh,
Another one I would like to ask, because I know
okay,
please,
let me
if you
really add something.
please,
When you
okay.
make a movie, sorry, when I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to start shooting like short movies, I tried that. You There's a way I wanted to go with like cool things, maybe uh like struggling with like your mental illness, or your mental health, um just going through different. I wanted There was a time I was really into short movies and short animations too. That they showed. There was one I watched, really nice one, about a guy trying to get up, like his clock kept ringing, he was struggling to get up. It was really relatable at times. Because there's depression, there's so many other things that movies cannot just show. Not all movies show all these aspects. They might show it briefly, but when they show it in detail, trust me, you would really be able to relate to that and to stick with you, because it will show something that you've really been feeling that you might not even have noticed in yourself. It's like a doctor, someone just telling you, you have this, you have that. And yeah, I have this. Oh, all you need to do is listen to music or take this drug and it's fine. And be like, yeah, so what have I been doing for most of my life? There's just something it does to you that it makes you realize, it just connects to you deeply, different level that you definitely tell other people about it. Like, you know, a story, like there's a way shooting a story can change, like, different lives, like a million lives eventually in the long run, more than shooting something that's showing a movie that you show it to like a billion audiences, audience, but just like dies down within a week. It's like sowing seeds into people's lives. Some might, go, some might fizzle out, and then it changes lives. At the end of the day, changing lives and making impact in humanity is
Yeah, and
kind of
making
more,
impact is more important. Yeah,
yeah, it's more important.
it's a deeper human feeling than the latter. I get you.
Yeah, yeah.
Seriously, ask a final question, and let's
Yeah,
close the show.
yeah. Now let's see. Let's see now. The last rapid fire question is:
Hmm.
Would you? Would you die for me? No, that's too easy.
Would I
Would
die
you?
for you?
Would you live for me? Sorry, that's a sketch from Joker. I digress.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
beg
yeah, yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. Joker.
Okay,
I
Oh,
fine.
beg
okay,
you.
No, now the real rapid fire question is:
okay,
total creative freedom with a one thousand
okay.
dollar or 10% freedom with a $10 million budget. Sharp, sharp. Which one are you?
I better go. I'm going with the total creative freedom with the 1,000 dollar budget instead.
Stay
Yes,
loyal to
it's
the
better
system.
than the 10%. Yeah, okay. The 10% one, it depends on people you're working with. But because we don't want to start talking about contests and you're working with and everything, because there's draft now.
Yeah.
You can write your own scripts and they trash out most of it. Start, oh my god, what am I
Mm,
doing? And you get frustrated, waste years of your life, and then so many.
mm.
At some point it kind of depends on your work. You're working with two people, then it's not stressful. It's really nice. But if you have total creative freedom, what else are you looking for? It's like the dream of most people. Even children have these dreams. Some children have better blockbusters than what adults, some adults would put out. And it's just the truth. It's just their minds are so pure and they have so many ideas. They are not even bothered about it. Some of them are not bothered about anything money, and they already know what they want.
Besides, they said the question is
Okay.
budget or 10 million budget. It didn't say 1K revenue or 10 million revenue. You don't know. A 1K budget could actually get you a great revenue. You never know.
Yeah,
It's a
that's the thing now. Basically, here you're taking a risk. If you're going with the 10% budget one, is it take one or budget one? You already know that, okay, no matter how it goes, you're going to get like profit and you get money, so it's not, it's a total waste. But that one, you're taking a risk. whether it goes out well or not, or it's average, you would have fulfilled, you'd have like, perform like purpose. You would have, your purpose would have been achieved. You feel fulfilled basically, and you will know, okay, it's just a risk you take. You have some people that like it, whereas your friends, whereas some other people, some other people might appreciate it on, it might be a popular reference to shows. It might even be a learning call for someone to learn on. That someone might create a better masterpiece that would always pay homage to you. That, oh, it was this guy's movie, it was this guy's song, it was this guy's whatever content that changed my life forever and made me become a superstar. And you, whether you are alive to see that story or hear that tale, a lot of people that were inspired, a lot of people that were inspired, like people, hey, for example, people like Billie Eilish now, they inspire people like Aurora. Aurora, I mean, you see when last did you see Aurora getting Grammy or anything?
Oh,
Like
that
people that really good, she was inspired by, like it's not everybody that gets the limelight like that, but there's the impact. There's
yes.
the impact the impact is like the most important thing. It doesn't matter wherever you are, like your name would like shake rooms, like doors will open for you regardless.
I
And
love that.
I think we can bring the episode to a close.
Okay, me too. There's one more thing I wanted to mention though.
Nice.
I've been holding myself back
Right.
a lot because I didn't want to talk. Hey, there was something else. Oh, yeah, true. Funny enough, this is random. But when you can say rapid fire, 'cause I got the concept. I'm a gamer, so it's funny. It's literally like I'm gaming, and you guys are like,
Right. I think I understand.
coming with like, yeah. Okay. So, African storytelling. We kept, the Molan to us, you guys kept talking about like, the industry and everything, and about like entertainment, and I kept thinking about a funny perspective. So it's all about entertainment and entertainment. But the funny thing about African storytelling is we have the power to like entertain. We do entertain people. We also educate people, and there are also other things we do. So when you entertain, too, it doesn't mean you can't also educate people, and teach
Mm,
people, basic survival skills.
that's
When
true.
you have a movie that can do all of these things or even more and empower people too, I mean, you like achieved a lot in your life. You might not know, but you made so a movie can do so many things. We've forgotten. Oh, we think a movie can do just one thing and only entertain. We've forgotten a movie can do so. It can teach self defense. It can teach you what to do. A common question or something that people talk about. So you can just teach you to avoid some unnecessary nonsense. It might just help some children from making like terrible decisions as an adult. There's so much movies do. If you go back to who we are as adults, kind of, but to some extent, some people, it depends on how strong your mind or your willpower was. It goes back to the kind of movies you or content you consume when you're young. It doesn't mean every has to do every day. There's so many factors. But if you go back, like you're watching movies like all those Terminator, all those alien invasion stories, like so many ones, like Avatar or something. Like there's a way it kind of shapes you, your personality, your beliefs, what you stand for. How daring or how brave you are as a person. They're like just so some movies do a lot to people more than you realize. That's the thing. I had like phases of my life where I was always going to cinema, consuming content, like I always going to see movies, whether blockbuster ones or local ones. I had some phases where okay, I calmed down a bit here. But like I understand movies have like a lot of power more than we see. It's like living different lives, through watching a movie or a series. There's like so much it does to a person.
Escape into their reality.
Yeah, you get to live life from their own point of view. Exactly.
Wow. Thank you so
I
much for
think, thank you, Yinka. This of you, God, even beyond my wildest imagination, sef, you covered questions that I wasn't even trying to ask as well. So thank
Sure.
you,
You're welcome.
thank you so much. Thank you for being transparent with us as best as you could. Thank you for being
So
comprehensive with your explanations as well, and
yeah, you're welcome.
with your examples too. Yeah, your analogies too were spot on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And thank you to everybody. Thank you so much to our amazing guests today, to everyone who joined us today. Once again, this has been Highlights Talk, no more, no less, brought to you by the Hubert Ifokube Academy. And like I said before, you're passionate about film, the creative industry, you like to do skills professionally. Registration is open for our course, and you can simply visit the link in our bios to enroll. Remember, talent is never enough. I always say, make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, @high_film academy. That's high_film academy. And remember, this episode be available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, where you get your podcast. That's the Hubert Ifokonbale Film Academy channel. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you. That's it for the episode. Remember, guys, the story you tell matters, but you tell it for matters, right? I'm Ademola Oyinka, and my co-host has been Toyosi Ogundusi, the Queen. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Hi, let's talk. No more, no less. We got that good time.